Welcome back to another cleaning video. I put out new videos on a weekly basis, so subscribe if you're interested in more cleaning and lifestyle content. Happy 2023! I can't believe it's the new year already. So in this video, I'll be showing you everything I did to prep and reset my home. This isn't really a deep cleaning the apartment, but instead I'll be doing chores that I don't normally do. Not to say these things should be done solely on a yearly basis. Should probably do these more frequently in general, but here we are. All of that to say that today is going to be a sort of different clean with me, not the normal vacuuming and doing the dishes. I'll just be doing a few things that are out of my normal routine that I don't do on a regular basis. Be sure to subscribe. I put out new cleaning videos weekly, and as always, timestamps are below if you want to skip ahead to anything. And the very first thing I'm kicking this video off with is, well, this is something that gets done quite regularly, but I am changing out my bed sheets. Now that it's gotten a little colder here, we do have a top sheet and comforter combination, and it is such a pain to put that thing on with all the buttons. You have to button each one individually and make sure it all matches up. So making the bed takes a little bit longer now, but it is worth it for the extra warmth and comfort that it provides during these colder evenings. So the first out of routine chore that I'll be doing here is going through the medicine cabinet, if you will, or in this case, the medicine container. I wanted to evaluate all of the little medical supplies that we have. I think in general, it's a good idea to keep all of the medicine together so that you're not frantically running around in the case that you need them. So for me, that is just a little container here that will hold all of the Band-Aids, cold medicine, cough drops, thermometers, anything that you may need in the case that you are just not feeling 100%. So it was my goal to evaluate what was in here. I know a lot of the stuff I had purchased a year ago, like you accumulate some things that you use and need throughout the year, but maybe you don't need them anymore. And I also wanted to take a look at the expiration dates on things that I had to see if they're really perhaps not as effective anymore. So taking some time to maybe declutter those out. So here I am checking the expiration dates on the medicines that I have. I pulled out a notebook at one point to write some dates down if I was going to get rid of the box that the things were in, but I only ended up writing down the expiration for one product, so I just figured out another way to jot that down somewhere else. But it could be helpful for you to label things if you're taking them out of the box. And also at this point, I had to use up my FSA money, so I wanted to evaluate what I had and if I could replace anything, all that good stuff. So there are the final results. I did get rid of a couple boxes and consolidated some things, but ultimately found that a lot of things weren't at the expiration date yet, so I will just come back to that in 6 months or so. So now I'm doing something that I have not done before. I am going to clean the oven. The oven isn't that dirty, but I just felt like this was something that needs to be done. And at the same time, I didn't want to go out and purchase a cleaner that's specifically for the oven. I know a lot of them use really harsh chemicals, and although that may be necessary for certain times, I didn't think it was necessary for the current state of our oven. So what I'm doing, I found a recipe, if you will, online. I will link it below if you're interested, of how to clean the oven with water and lemons. So basically you just heat up the oven on a low heat. I set it to 150 here, as you can see, and you just let it cook, if you will, a pan with lemons and water, just to naturally disinfect and just help you scrape off some of the grime from the oven. So I'm letting that cook for about 30 to 40 minutes. And while that is going on, I decided to also give the stovetop a good deep cleaning. I have not done this before where I removed the little stovetop heads from the stove. So this was new to me and something that probably needed to be done. If you can see those little divots there where the stovetop covers were, there were some little food bits in there as well. And what I decided to do off camera, I took my Dyson and the skinny head attachment, and I went in there and sucked up all the little food bits that were stuck in there just to get them out as efficiently as possible. I was a little nervous about getting the area wet. I didn't know how long it would need to dry as well if we wanted to use the stove like in a couple hours or so. So I just wanted to be mindful of that. Also, for the first time, I used the Dawn Power Wash on the stovetop to clean it off. I've seen a lot of people do that. This was just my first time trying it out, and I think it left a good streak-free shine on there. I also took the cloth that I was using and just gave the outside of the oven a good wipe down as well. There it is, beautiful and shiny. While the area was cleared, I also took the time to wipe the countertop around the oven, and then also went ahead and wiped the backsplash behind it. Then I moved over to the sink and also gave it a spray with the Dawn Power Wash. When I used to deep clean my sink, I used to use baking soda and vinegar. And I feel like it did give it a really good natural clean, but I've been seeing some stuff online that you're not supposed to really do that because it can damage your drain. Let me know if you have any experience with that. I feel like it is a natural way that a lot of people do clean out their sinks, but let me know if that's something that you do or if it definitely does damage your drain. And then for the first time here, I'm using a garbage disposal cleaner. This is also something that's pretty popular online. This was finally my first time using one. They started selling it in the Target nearby, and I just wanted to try it out. Pretty painless process. You just run the water for about a minute, then you drop in the packet and run the garbage disposal, and you get that little puff of cleaning solution, which is pretty fun. Then, similar to the oven, I took this time to wipe around the backsplash and just underneath the bottom of the cabinets here. This isn't something I do on a weekly basis, so you can see how much grime really added up on the rag that I was using. So at this point, it was about 30 to 40 minutes later, and I turned off the oven and opened it a little to let it cool down before wiping it down. And while I was waiting there, I decided to wipe down the cabinets. And again, it had been a couple months at least from the last time that I gave these cabinets a good wipe down. I'm using the Method Everyday All-Purpose Cleaner here in my little glass bottle, and just giving every cabinet in this kitchen a nice wipe down. including these little drawers to the right of the dishwasher as well. It's all like the same wood-like material in this area. Also being sure to give the handles a good wipe as well. Same thing over here. These cabinets hold the food. It's basically like a pantry cabinet, and the one to the left of it holds all of the pots and some baking supplies. As much as I would want a kitchen with white cabinets, I do realize I'm a little grateful for these darker color ones. I feel like if I had light cabinets, I would have to clean them much more because the dirt is just more visible. Then while I was in this area, I decided to wipe down the wall. Unsurprisingly, coffee grinds kind of gather in that area because the coffee machine is right above it. Then I wiped down the baseboards as well. So now that some time has passed, I'm replacing the covers on the stove since everything has dried down. As well as now cleaning out the oven. So I'm dipping a sponge into the warm lemon water that we use to clean the oven. Then I switched over to the Scrub Mommy because it had a little more scrubbing power. Now, like I said, the oven wasn't super dirty, but the glass window on the oven has some like remnants of something. Maybe some of you will know what I'm talking about. It's just like little sticky bits on the oven, and this definitely didn't do a perfect job of getting them up. It looked a little better. Maybe I have to try out like a harsher oven cleaner to actually get those bits up. So this wasn't a perfect method, but I did find as I was going through here, and as you can see on the sponge, it did pick up a lot of dirt and just grease from the oven. So overall, a success, and it was an easy and quick way to get this oven cleaning done. So overall, satisfied with the process. And there we go, a sparkling, shining oven. Perfect for lots of baking and cooking for 2023. So the next thing that I'm doing is taking a Swiffer duster, and I'm going to be dusting down the blinds. Again, this is something that I do more frequently, not on a yearly basis, definitely more frequently than that. But maybe every couple of months will I remember to do this. I'm not perfect at it. So once I finished up with the blinds in the family room area, I moved on to the blinds in the bedroom. These ones are much taller, so had to get a little more involved. Actually had to reach up and bend over for these ones, so. And I try to do like a side to side motion as well as an up and down motion, just to try to get as much dust up as possible. And then as you can see there, it did capture a good amount of dust. Since I had the duster out, I also decided to quickly go through all the vents and the tops of the doors in the apartment. So switching it up from the Swiffer duster, I actually took out the literal Swiffer and put a dust cloth on it and decided to go through the walls. I actually did this a couple months ago in my bedroom, and I found that it actually captured a lot of dust, like more than you would expect. And I don't think it's that weird. And I think some people will actually wash or mop their walls because things actually gather on them. So I went through everywhere but the bedroom with the Swiffer, just gathering all of the dust off of the walls. And weirdly enough, this is kind of fun to do. It's quick, doesn't take too long, and it's also really satisfying at the end. You can see in the shot, this duster pad actually caught a decent amount of dust, just from the walls. Then, working from top to bottom, I took out my Dyson and decided to vacuum up the baseboards. Now, if I wanted to be a little more involved, I could have also wiped down the baseboards, but I just wanted this to be a little more quick. And at this point, all of the rags were in the wash, so I just wanted to get it done with this attachment on the Dyson. So now that everything is nice and dusted, I'm going to spend a few moments here and put everything away in the kitchen. Another thing that I did to reset my home for 2023, something that I don't do as frequently, is giving the trash can a good wipe down. I use some Lysol disinfectant spray and then a paper towel to really scrub down the outside and the lid of the trash can. And then I also took that same Lysol disinfectant spray and wiped down the part of the island that the trash leans against, as well as the floor. So in the disinfecting mood, I also took a Lysol wipe and just disinfected all of the high touch areas of the home. So all of the light switches, doorknobs, especially the front door, just where you would think maybe the most bacteria and everything kind of gathers throughout the week. So the very last thing that we're doing to really ring in the new year here, we are starting fresh with some brand new lights. The ones that I had up, I've had for maybe 3 or 4 years, and the wires on them were going a little haywire. They weren't always working when I plugged them in. You had to adjust the wire at a certain angle to make sure that the lights would stay on. So I was just worried they were on their way out. So I decided to replace them with a fresh new box of string lights. I just have these hanging up by command strips, nothing crazy. So I took down the lights that were already up and then replace them with the new ones. The new ones that I got are a little bit, not even a little bit, they were significantly longer. I did have to go through and loop it in the middle so the lights shine a little bit brighter there than on the edges. But once that was done, we have some brand new beautiful shining string lights in the bedroom. I just think this adds such a cozy vibe to the room. So that has been it for this week's cleaning video, or 2023 reset, if you will. I hope this gave you some motivation and inspiration to get some cleaning and resetting of your own done. I hope you enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe for weekly videos, and I'll see you in the next one.